said you still staring at those numbers like they owe you something back. I said, baby, every scar I got was drawn in candlestick and black. Now the brokers wear cologne that smells like bankrupt wedding vows, and the wolves on Wall Street howl the loudest when the room gets quiet down. There's a rumor downtown, some kid turned 30 grand to thunder. Now the old man at the country club, I'll drink a little younger, and I know every king gets buried with his Rolex and regrets. But tonight the ticker tape's falling like confetti on my desk. We got rich off red-eye candles, smoking luck behind the screen glow blue. Now the city wants a photograph of the same boys they swore would never break through. Velvet jackets, market crashes, taxi drivers talking macro trends. We were dirt beneath the fingernails, now we move the needle when the opening bell hits again. There's a blonde girl in Tribeca with a blackout dress and perfect teeth. Says her daddy sold the bottoms back in 1983. But she still leans in closer every time I mention gamma squeezes. Like financial suicide somehow just sounds romantic in the evening. I seen grown men lose religion watching after hours bleeding, and I seen broke kids from nowhere turn their rent into a season. The bartender talks recession while the models smoke beside the fire exit. Everybody wants the skyline, nobody wants the years it took to get it. And I know the newspaper saints all vanish when the market finally cracks. But tonight the whole damn city's dancing in the green and black. Yeah, we got rich off bad decisions and insomnia beneath fluorescent lights. Now the champagne tastes like vengeance mixed with nicotine and market highs. The rich kids want the secret, but there never was a secret to defend. Just a cheap laptop paranoia, yeah, and surviving long enough to catch the trend. We got rich off red-eye candles while the whole world slept through the storm. Now the same mouths that used to doubt us try to dress themselves in what we formed. Velvet mornings after all-nighters, trading futures while the sun comes in. Yeah, the lucky ones are just the ones who stayed alive long enough to finally win.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where I have already lost power not once, but twice today. So I just want everyone to know that if I randomly go dark on you, if this just randomly cuts out, it's apparently because someone outside my house, but related to my power grid, took their car into a pole, and that pole has the transformer, which gives the whole area that I happen to be involved in some power. So like I said, I've already lost power twice. If I randomly go dark on you, there's a good chance that's because why, and also because of that, I'll probably rage quit. So I just want everyone to have a better understanding of the woes that I am dealing with on this particular beautiful day. So just wanted to throw that out to everyone. And What does make it a little bit more sad is the fact that we are gearing up to open up at new record highs. If you haven't seen the market yet, you might want to put on your green tinted sunglasses because man, oh man, are the bulls back in town. So we're looking at a new all-time high. We're looking at a potential continuation. We have some amazing news related to Iran and the Strait of Hormuz reopening. We have killer earnings as it relates to Palantir, Snapchat, Caterpillar. We have a lot of positive things going on. I hope you were able to get a piece of it. Maybe you even swung some bullish positions overnight. And really what I hope is at least you weren't going crazy on the bear side thinking that this was the ceasefire that wasn't going to hold, because if you did, at least as of now, things are looking pretty rough for you. But just kind of judging off the vibe in chat, it does seem as if more of you were favoring the bullish side of things. So obviously, congrats to all of you. Now, I'm hoping that my power stays intact this entire time. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it doesn't. I guess you guys should remind me no matter what I do that my orders, I hope they're server side. I guess I need to be putting in my profit, my target, profit target and my stop on every trade today, because if my power does randomly cut, I might be absolutely cooked. So I need to be figuring that one out. That could be a brutal situation. I just thought of that. But anyway, we will cross that bridge when we come to it. I do appreciate you guys joining me at the butt crack of dawn. We are up before the farmers, and we're going to be breaking down what's going on in the stock market. We're going to do a little bit of live day trading, and I just want to talk about what's going on because, man, oh man, is it exciting. All right, a little bit of a switch up here just so you can see. S&P 500 gapping up to not just a new high, a new all-time high. The Q's gapping up, not a new all-time high, but I love the 1% gap up. Palantir crushing earnings up 16%. We're going to be getting into that. Snapchat up 7%. Caterpillar is currently up 12%. And then just so you guys know, SpaceX is reporting after the market closes today. I'm going to ask you this in a second, but do you guys want me to stream this? It's going to be SpaceX's first earnings call of ever. So I thought maybe could be an interesting opportunity. But let me set the stage for you if you guys don't mind. We have a little bit of breaking news, and this could be the news that not only fuels the market to go to a new all-time high, but it might give enough fuel to keep going and going and going. Basent, the Treasury Secretary, we may have an Iran deal tomorrow to open the Strait of Hormuz. Obviously, send it a little bit of a rounder's call out here, but to better understand why this time might be different, why this time might be so impactful and really lead to a bullish rally that sends the market higher and higher and higher, let me rewind a mere 12 to 18 hours. Iran says no talks with the U.S. on Hormuz Strait. Iran's foreign ministry says discussions with Oman continue on managing traffic through the passage. Trump calls Tehran unbelievably duplicitous. Now, that's your SAT word, which basically means he feels like he's getting stabbed in the back. So this was literally yesterday afternoon, and Trump was so, I guess, unhappy with this situation that he even went to True Social. And remember, you can pay $100,000 a month to get this information faster than the rest of us. But what you need to know is basically Iranian leadership is unbelievably duplicitous. Now, why is he saying this? Well, he's saying, hey, they want the talks. We're having good talks. We're making good progress. And a couple hours later, the leadership of Iran says, we're not talking at all. Do you even go here? You can't sit with us. They asked for a meeting. Some would say beg, talks begin, and more scheduled in the immediate future. And they say openly and proudly that they're not having any discussions, that nothing is being talked about and that they're only dealing with Oman. So once again, this was the scene as yesterday. Trump and the administration saying, we're looking good. Things are awesome. We're progressing. The market liked it. We didn't hit an all-time high, but obviously, if you look at the daily chart from yesterday with respect to the S&P 500, we're looking good. We were pretty much coming up to an all-time high. So basically, the question is, what changed just now? Last chance. Basent says Hormuz deal is in sight after Trump's warning on Iran talks. So saying, we're getting close. But then he kind of double, triple, quadrupled down this morning and saying, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Basent says there may be a deal Tuesday or Wednesday to open the Strait of Hormuz with freedom of movement. This is a big deal. And as you can tell, the market is really liking it.
A lot of things are making it sort of tough on Japan right now, Ms. Secretary. I'm just wondering whether just purely fiscal and even monetary changes can really help. I mean, there's a lot of capital inflow. It's good for us. AI, all the money's coming here around the world because this is where the returns are in AI. The war in Iran they're importers of energy in Japan. I mean, what's the Shakespeare quote? How all occasion doth inform against us. It just seems like one thing after another has put additional pressure. Could they raise rates like they should? Could they end QE, or would that just compound their problems?
Well, a lot to unpack there, Joe. So let's start with, in my ex post over the weekend, I said, I believe the Japanese government understands that we're at the end of Abenomics, or one phase of it, and now we're in the implementation stage. It has been wildly successful in reflating the Japanese economy, normalizing the economy, bringing them out of deflation. And I think now we're going to see strong growth. They've had strong wage growth. The economy is quite strong. Japan's tech sector, while it doesn't match the U.S., is very, very strong. Japan, Korea, two of the strongest in the world. And then when you talk about the energy price, Japan is a substantial importer of energy from the Gulf. And we've seen President Trump last week threatened what would have been one of the largest military campaigns, or the largest military campaign since World War II, against the Iranians. And now because of that, we are in talks with the Iranians. And I think there is a chance we may have a deal today or tomorrow to open the strait.
Here, hang on one second, right there.
The largest military campaigns, or the largest military campaign. And then when you talk about the energy price, Japan is a substantial importer of energy from the Gulf. And we've seen President Trump last week threatened what would have been one of the largest military campaigns, or the largest military campaign since World War II, against the Iranians. And now because of that, we are in talks with the Iranians. And I think there is a chance we may have a deal today or tomorrow to open the strait and move towards a more normalized position in this conflict. And that's
Right there. That one magical little sentence of, hey, we're talking with the Iranians and we think things are going good. And in fact, the strait might be open today, Tuesday, August the 4th, or maybe tomorrow, Wednesday, August the 5th. And obviously, this has a little bit of moving parts because he's talking about what they decided to do with the yen. And a lot of people saying that this is basically what we did with the yen, helping them basically buy it. Okay, I could explain that in a second. But basically, what's going on with the yen, you could argue that it's the first Iranian-related bailout. And he's saying, hey, it's acceptable. It's fine. We're not going to have to do anything else. But it's looking good because we're going to be opening this strait anyway. And that's really all the market had to hear because the SPY ripping, the Q's ripping. We're talking about new all-time highs. Palantir great earnings. SpaceX is coming up. Maybe it'll beat, maybe it won't. Obviously, we heard from Caterpillar, also crushing it. We heard from Snapchat, also crushing it. So all of a sudden, the larger picture concerns are, at least in the short term, people are saying, okay, cool. Now, you might be listening to this, you might be watching this and thinking, okay, like this is the 19th ceasefire. Why should I believe it? And my retort to that would be, it doesn't matter if you believe it. What matters is that the market is believing it. And at least according to pre-market, we're looking to be gapping up to new all-time highs. And we're actually looking really strong in the NASDAQ as well. Not new all-time high territory, but a strong, strong recovery. Obviously, time will tell to see how this truly plays out. But I just want to do my job at explaining as we're kicking off the new week in the new month of August, why there's so much bullish enthusiasm. Earnings are crushing. Monetary policy is calming down, but most importantly, this kind of awkward monkey that's been on our shoulder, this Iranian conflict, Iranian war, whatever you want to call it, over the past couple of months, really seems as if it's getting closer to being done than anything else. Now, obviously, fingers crossed, knock on wood. I just want to do my job of breaking down why we're probably going to be seeing new record highs today. And if I had to guess, kind of reading the tea leaves here of why I think this is going to be continuing at least in the next couple weeks, hopefully the next couple months. Circling back a second here to the yen thing, I don't think I did the best job really fully explaining this yesterday. I got some DMs, some emails, some questions of what's happening here. You could hear in the CNBC interview that Besant was saying, okay, it was really all about Japan and the yen, and it led to a conversation about Iran. So he wasn't really brought in to talk about that. That's not really his position. But what his position is basically to post little post-it notes like this: buy Japanese yen, 5 to 10 billion. When they did that, as I showed you yesterday, basically relative to the US dollar, the yen was trading at a 40-year low. Yes, you heard me right, a 4-decade low. And this isn't problematic on the surface level, but it is when you realize that Japan, as a nation, owns a lot of U.S. treasuries. And if the yen is under quite a bit of pressure, they might have to sell treasuries because they're going to need the moolah. Well, what happens to yields if one of the biggest holders of treasuries decides to sell? Well, treasuries go down, yields go up, and then that's going to put even more pressure on our Fed, Kevin Warsh, to raise interest rates. This is a big no-no according to the current administration, because remember, their whole thing is, no, we want rates lower, not higher. So right now, obviously, a lot of this is being dolled up as like, oh my God, we're helping out Japan. They're a great ally, but send yen rescue to boost U.S. pressure on Japan trade and rates. So we're coming out basically, I wouldn't say looking as the good guy, because I wouldn't argue that it's necessarily moral. We're kind of protecting our own tail. And then in the future, we're going to be able to ask Japan for a favor, because this is a giant favor for them. But we basically are in an interesting situation where we're generating a favor in the future from a future nation, but then steps we just took were really to protect our own tail. So kind of interesting movement there. Like I said, tying this all together, because I know it sounds like we're talking about the yen and rates and Japan. What's have to do with Iran? Well, remember, Japan, if you look at their economy, they are massive importers of energy, and this is going to be very important to their trade balance. Well, when energy prices go up, that's going to hurt their trade balance and potentially put them in a deficit that they don't really want to be in. And obviously, beyond the deficit and the actual magnitude of the trade balance, it's putting pressure on their economy, and you see that with the yen being at a 4-decade low. So as I kind of started this off, it is potentially the first Iran-related bailout. But the fact is that this happened, and if you look at the chart of USD JPY, that's going down. JPY USD is going up, so it's coming off that extreme low. And if you look at oil is slightly coming down. The market is buying the fact that maybe this turmoil is behind us, and you're also seeing it in the risk-on equity market and really the AI trade of the fact that we're at new highs. And what's making this even better, and just so you know, today, Jolt's job opening at 10 a.m. I don't want to forget about that. But what's making it better is the recent earnings we're getting are really, really good. Palantir with a God candle after the market closed yesterday. You could see EPS beat, revenue beat, and a little bit later, we're going to be diving into some of the commentary from Dr. Karp, who's the CEO of the company. Really, really bullish stuff. Palantir soars 12% on blowout quarter, with U.S. commercial revenue soaring nearly 150%. Snapchat, after the market closed yesterday, also with a God candle. EPS a hit. That's what these parentheses mean. They were expecting a drop of 12 cents. It was only a drop of 10, so still better than expected. And their revenue also better than expected, up 10%. Snap stock jumps 8% on earnings beat and strong sales forecast. Then fast forward to this morning, Caterpillar. And I know a lot of us don't talk about Caterpillar. I'm a little confused as why, because if you look at the stock, it has been nothing but rip city. Look at that gap up, gapping up 12%. But look at this rip on Caterpillar. I am on the weekly chart. Ever since the start of 2025, this thing went from 300 to 1,000, pulling back. This is not an AI high flyer. This is a machinery company for construction, strong infra play, and it's looking really, really good. So strong beat there as well. And then that leads me to what's going down tonight. SpaceX slump wipes out $1 trillion in market value from the peak. So folks, I know I got a lot of flack for it, but you have to admit I was right. A lot of people on my case with Matt. Why are you not buying the IPO? It's SpaceX. You like Elon. You like SpaceX. You've said so many bullish things. Why are you not getting involved in the IPO? Well, just because you like something doesn't mean you want to overpay for it. That doesn't make sense. Just because you like something doesn't mean it has a fair value of infinity. That's not how things work. I told you, avoid IPOs. They commonly pump and dump. They take a couple months, maybe even up to over a year to really find their foundation and their legging. And then from there, they start trading, quote unquote, normally. I believe it was exclusively Tom Nash and myself who were taking the stance. We like SpaceX, but it's going to take time. Chasing it at its IPO, it's a silly thing. And that's just not to knock on SpaceX. That's how IPOs go. I like the company. I do. I think it's going to be hyper successful, but I bought a share to kind of prove a point. I think the share's down, 30, 40%. But what's going to be interesting is the earnings coming up tonight. And Spot Gamma posted something interesting. SPCX skew premium now largest to the call side, hedging off meme media response. So lots of hedging on the call side, top side there. So we're going to see how it plays out. And I guess my question for you is twofold. How do you think SpaceX is going to do with their earnings tonight? This is the first one ever as a public company. Obviously, you don't have earnings calls before it. And more importantly than that is, do you guys want me to stream it? Is there enough interest in here for me to try to put the kiddo to sleep and see if we can fire up an afternoon SpaceX or I guess post-market close? Whoa, market just popped about 50 points out of nowhere, 10 minutes to go. You guys want to do it? I feel like it might be a crazy one. It's their first one. I don't know how they're going to run it. I think it might be a spectacle. SpaceX, like you can see, lost $1 trillion in value, but I thought it could be a call sheet. There might be a call sheet market open on it. That's probably worthwhile to check out. Hang on very quickly. Let me close out all these tabs. Tabs. The last one. If you haven't already signed up for the newsletter, if you're listening to this, there's a good chance you've already been here before. If you're not on the newsletter, I don't know what you're doing. You're missing out. Freebie information, breakdown of the market, cheat sheet for earnings, cheat sheet for all the major macroeconomic events. Today, 10 a.m., Jolt job opening. Pay attention to that. But I think really the bigger story is going to be what's going on with the overall market. We had phenomenal earnings. At this moment, if we open, we're gapping up. We're opening not only above yesterday's high, we're going to be opening above the all-time high. If we were to open right now, we would be opening at 7633. I know this is a little small, so let me zoom in. 7633, which is obviously above 7621. If we open right now, and we're going to open in 8 minutes, we are opening at a new record high. Also, side note there is we're going to have a downside gap fill to yesterday's high at 76.10. If you're looking on SPY, the downside gap fill will be 758.58. If you're looking on the Qs, the downside gap fill will be 701.59. And if you're looking on IWM, the small cap sector, the downside gap fill, once again, all to yesterday's high, is 296.66. So the reason I'm bringing this up, and if you're a returning viewer, you know this, the chance of the market filling the gap, once again, we are opening above yesterday's extreme. So there's a gap between wherever we're at and the high from yesterday. There's a literal gap in the chart. The odds of that filling the next day are very high. Is it a guarantee? No, it's not something that happens 100% of the time, but depending on the size of the gap, it can happen anywhere from 80 to 85% of the time. So the reason I'm bringing this up is that in itself is an interesting play, especially when you have such strong odds. But it also tells you that maybe you don't want to play it, but it also gives you the information to maybe not be chasing this out of the gate. Also, statistically, if you're going to fill the gap, it generally happens within the first hour. Of course, it could happen later in the day. You could always find counter examples to the major points that I'm bringing up, but I'm here to talk about the major odds, like what is statistically likely versus what is statistically unlikely. Remember, there's no guarantee. The market doesn't live in the black and white world. It lives in the gray area where, yeah, this happens most of the time, but you also have variance and random things can happen at other points. So I do want to let you know that things are extraordinarily bullish. We're going to be looking at a new all-time high today. We have amazing earnings, but in terms of the market open, chasing this out of the gate, chasing on gap ups is a silly thing because of the statistical likelihood of a downside gap fill, but it's even more silly when you're doing it at a record high because there's a good chance right out of the gate that we see some profit taking because remember, there's a lot of players in the market who just crushed it on Palantir. There's a lot of players in the market who crushed it on Snapchat, a lot of players who crushed it on Caterpillar, a lot of people awkwardly awaiting to see what's going on with SpaceX. But then even returning to some of these high-flying tech plays that's really been driving the recent market movement. Meta had a really good day yesterday, slightly red this morning. Same thing with Microsoft. Apple, it hit an all-time high. It's kind of chilling looking at that 50 EMA. Tesla, I'm going to be watching it, but I think most people are watching SpaceX today just because of the earnings. But this is coming back to the main point of my conversation is these memory stocks, the subsector of the AI trade that's really powering people. MU is up 5%. SanDisk, which also has earnings, is up 6.7%. Amazon, killer day yesterday, hit an all-time high, giving some of it back. Intel, decent day yesterday, big gap up this morning. It's in that realm of MU and SanDisk. Actually, I should move that up a little bit. Google, really strong recovery, ripping from 315 to 375. NVIDIA, decent day yesterday, going up even more this morning. AMD, same thing, decent day yesterday, going up even more this morning. TSM, exact same situation. Broadcom, sold off, went flat. Honestly, this is some nice accumulation. I'm getting ready for another big pop in Broadcom. I think this, actually, that is so exciting. I need to write that one down because I love the setup. I love the setup. I know my swing bots are going to be firing like crazy on Broadcom. Piper, where'd you put my pen? Oh, thank you, Piper. I thought Piper took my pen, but I need to write this one down. I want to do a little bit later. I'm going to do a full options breakdown and figure out how I want to play this bad boy. But Broadcom is looking mighty nice, if you ask me. ASML, hopefully that can get going. RUM has earnings Monday of next week. Salesforce, Netflix showing a little bit of life. Palantir, we already went over that, crushed its earnings. Texas Roadhouse, all-time high or just going? All-time high? It is an all-time high. I've been riding this one ever since, I think, 100. CoreWeave, decent day yesterday, has a lot of room to still make up. It gained a nice 19% yesterday. Crypto, is crypto done, folks? Is crypto, are we just done with it? Is it just not, like, I feel it's going nowhere. It's doing nothing. Is the crypto experiment done, or are there enough people thinking that like this is the last little shakeout and then it actually gets going again? But like this has not gained value since 2024. This is the exact value we were at in 21. This is where were we at in 21. Like we're exactly where we've been. This hasn't done shit. It's just boring. It's sideways. It's like literally just doing nothing. And my fear here is twofold. Number one, should I take the money out of Bitcoin and put it in plays that are seemingly about to rip, like Broadcom, which I just showed you, Meta, Microsoft, even Apple, Google, they're all looking good? Or if I flip, am I going to make the wrong move? And then all of a sudden those ones do nothing. And it's Bitcoin that finally wakes up out of its slumber. And then we go. Like, it's just, this is Tom Lee, bullish Ethereum. Of course he's a bullish Ethereum, but if you're going to touch crypto, there's no crypto worthwhile touching besides Bitcoin. By the time you talk about Ethereum, Solana, Ripples for retards, all these other ones are worthless, truly worthless. Right now, there's a big question of like, how viable is the crypto industry? And if one has a shot at survival, it will be Bitcoin. All the other ones have less odds of survival. So just, of course, Tom Lee's going to talk about Ethereum because he's running BMNR, which is down billions of dollars. So he's an unbiased party when it comes to the commentary on BMNR because he's in it. But look he's getting destroyed. So this whole thing, I do respect Tom Lee's opinion on many things, but this one's a little bit too close to his own wallet because he's down billions. He needs Ethereum to go up. It's just not reasonable. It's just not reasonable. Just keep it diversified, Bitcoin. I mean, I don't mind diversification where you have some crypto, which is Bitcoin, but diversifying across all crypto is going to be a loser play. Most of the crypto we're talking about right now is not going to be around, or if it is, it's going to be trading at very, very low values in the future. The only one that I think has a legitimate shot of surviving this is Bitcoin. All the other ones, they're fine for active trades. They have good range, good volatility. If you want to be long, if you want to be short, if you want to trade it on perp contracts, have at it. But we're talking about like investing, like what do we feel confident 10, 20, 30 years from now? Bitcoin. Yeah, very much Bitcoin. Buy NFTs. That was so evidently a scam. The fact that NFTs got to the level they did just shows you that there's a sucker born every single minute. Tom Lee gets paid to shill ETH. He doesn't care how much it goes down. Yeah, Tom Lee, like I said, I respect his opinion and his analysis from Fundstrat, but when it gets into the world of crypto and especially Ethereum, because of his own personal ties to BMNR, I literally just don't believe it. All right, let me switch this up so you guys can see my accounts and what we have going on. Why did that disappear? There we go. Here are my accounts. You can see I was a good boy yesterday. I upgraded all the accounts live with you. I had 5 on Lucid, 5 with MFF, and the other ones I just didn't trade. So I was good. I kept my word. I didn't somehow spaz out and trade on things I shouldn't have. So I'm very, very happy about that. So today, we have 1 funded account on TPT, and then we have 5 on Lucid and 5 on MFF. So we're trading 11 funded accounts today, and then we're almost about to pass these Tradeifys. I just need to make another $650. So that's the deal. And then I also have 1 random eval on Take Profit as well. So just wanted to show you that, hey, maybe a new month, a new me, and we'll see how it goes. Can I actually stay disciplined? And on that note,
Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun.
well, folks, you are witnessing history. This is a new all-time high. Whatever today's intraday high is, that is the new record high. What you on the screen right now, this is record breaking. This is the highest that the S&P 500 has ever traded at. Across the board, the bulls are winning. The bulls are winning. Actually, how are my accounts doing? Because I was scaling out yesterday, and then I have these random runners up 123%, up 176%. All right, let's dump these 3 at 20 flat, if I can. 20 flat. We have 3 of those. I just want to keep scaling out. We're making some good money, so let's see if that goes. And then what else do we have going on? And then the SPY, I have 2 of these, 1650. Let's sell those 2 at maybe 17. I'm just looking to scale out, lock in my profits as we're ripping to new all-time highs. This is all just bonus money for me now at this point, the amount of money I'm making. I mean, this is just from yesterday. Yesterday, I cleared $15,000. So once again, if you want to trade with me, if you want these signals in real time, but more importantly than the signals is the reasoning and the thought and the breakdown, which is what you're going to get in the Discord. Bunch of education videos, live chat trading channel, live voice chat trading channel. Lots of people in there. So check that out. But anyway, here's the trade that I did. Most recently, I got into this position on the 30th. I had 3 of these. You guys kind of saw a little bit of it on stream. Got in at 75, scaled out at 100, 125, 150. If you do on the math on that, made just over $15,000, which if you agree with the trade, would have paid for you to be in the Discord for 15 years. So do I think it's worth it? I think it's incredibly worth it. I mean, even the Piper trade, that would have paid for a little bit. I mean, that's a one-off situation at its smallest sizing. So check it out. Like I said, if you want to trade with me, mainly talking about options, futures, all the hot stories in the market, a lot of systematic, algorithmic stuff. But if you want to be in it, GoonieTrading.com. Of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, just come to this contact page and it'll directly come to me, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. So like I said, if you want to trade with me, GoonieTrading.com. And hey, we could celebrate the brand new all-time highs together. Did this get hit? Did I get it? Okay, the queue's got to fill. Let me update the Discord. Okay, I am flat on the queues. That got its fill at 20. And dude, this account, look at this. What was it? So in the past month, I am up 27.7 thousand, and most of it's this past week. In 1 week, up about 22, almost 23K on this account. So not a bad time ripping these SPY and Q calls. And why is it mainly this past week? Well, to explain it to you, to give you a little bit of insight to my reasoning, I was waiting for this to stop. And really in here, when it came back to the 50 EMA, I had all of my bots started to say, okay, like we got to pay attention. And that was on Thursday, the 23rd. And what it was waiting for was a potential breakout. And this was the fake dip that I went long the next day. I said, okay, basically, this is a fake out breakdown. By definition, if you have a fake out breakdown, it has to be bullish. So I got in on the 30th because this sell-off failed, recovered the 50 EMA, and I punted it this entire time. And basically, I showed you some of it here. Some of it, where was that? Where did I show you? Oh, that picture. Nope, not this one. whatever. You saw that I got in on the 30th. Here I got in these on the 30th. And ever since it went up and up and up, I was just scaling and scaling and scaling. So was able to clear apparently 22,000 here and another 15,000 on the other account. So 22, 15. That brings it to 37,000 on the week. Was patient, waited forever for this to set up. Honestly, it started to come to my attention mid-July. Had to wait a while, but hey, that's what you get for waiting. Sometimes it pays nicely. Other times, if you're a little bit too early, which you guys see with my day trading quite a bit, you have to pay, and it's a very, very painful situation. But here, a little patience, waiting for that sniper-like entry. Literally, I was just trying to repeat what I saw previously. The dip, the recovery. The dip, the recovery. Dip, no recovery, no recovery. Fake out breakdown, recovery, slammed it, $37,000 later. So that's a high level breakdown of what happened. Of course, there was other statistics and mathematical nuances and had a little bit to do with the Fed, a little bit to do with Iran, a little bit to do with the yen. But basically putting that all together, I thought the risk was worth it. But of course, just because the risk is worth it, that doesn't mean you go all in, which is exactly why not only in the Discord, but also with you guys, you've seen me scaling out. And I just finally scaled out of the final position. Sold all SPY calls. All right, so there we go, folks. It's donezo. It could keep going. I don't know. I just don't have enough to sell, and honestly, I would classify that as a good problem to have. If you're up so much and you're just scaling, and then you just run out of things to scale out on, that means you crushed it. That means you annihilated it. So I made about 170% on the SPY at maximum, about 140% on the Qs at maximum, and 100% on SPX at maximum. So SPX 100, SPY 175, and then on the Qs, I think I saw roughly 140. Can this keep going? Without a doubt, it can keep going. Look at the levels today. I would actually think we could reasonably hit 650. I would think we could reasonably hit 665. So can it keep going? Yeah, of course it could keep going, but also it could just turn around. And when I'm up 37 grand, I'm not going to look that in the face and be like, nah, I don't want it. Especially if you guys have seen my trading in June and most of July with this choppiness, I'm a trend following trader. So when it's choppy like this, I'm getting destroyed. I'm always looking to play moves like this, like a nice 3-day expanse or this whole move. And even this sell-off is pretty good. But when it starts to get choppy and range bound, that's when your boy gets eaten alive. And that's exactly what happened in my trading account. So it's nice to take a chunk out of those losses. And that's just on the option side. Of course, you never know when it's going to turn around in the world of futures, which, speaking of that, I don't think I have my trade copier set up. Okay, I need to set up my trade copier. Please remember 10 a.m. today, Jolt's job openings. 10 a.m. today, Jolt's job openings. Sim main. And then I also need to turn on my bot. Okay, those two weren't turned on. So we're trading a system that I'm developing on TPT. We're looking to pass these 5 tradeifys today, and then we're looking to start to grow the buffer on the funded accounts on MFF and also on Lucid. So that's the plan on the day. I'm trading. I have a trade copier, Replicanto. I'm using the Sim. Ooh, that was a nice break. What time is it? 38. That was a nice break, actually. Can I get my one and done trade this morning? Are we going to put in a higher low here? We're looking at the NASDAQ right now, the NASDAQ futures market. Little fake out on the 1 minute. The 1 minute wicked up, but if it's getting smacked down, that's actually not good. Kind of inverse, just to talk about structure here. On the daily chart, when we broke down and then pop back up, that's a fake out breakdown. Right here, granted, we're looking on the 1 minute, but it's still a useful conversation about structure. We tried to get going. It tried to be a higher low, and right here, smacked a bullish breakout by definition is bearish. Now, obviously, 2 massively different time frames. I'm looking at the 1 minute here, while on SPX, we're looking at the daily. But just to kind of I don't know, have a useful conversation of how sometimes, that just tells you that there was not enough of a bullish imbalance to keep it going, got smacked. So a little bit of a fake out. There's probably a lot of people like me who were about to chase it. And now chasing it at 90, they're thinking, is it going to come back? Maybe yes, maybe no. Obviously, time will tell. Maybe this is a little fake out breakdown. We wicked lower. Once again, this is all going to be time frame dependent. The stuff you see on the 1 minute could be very different than the 10 versus the daily versus the 100 tick. The trends and the structure that you see are very specific to the time frame that you are on. Of course, the larger time frames have to, by definition, encapsulate what you're seeing in the smaller time frames. But just things like this little fake out low, or maybe this little double bottom that you could be seeing at 53, maybe not so evident on the 1 minute. Maybe a little bit difficult to see actually on the 100 tick here, a little bit more obvious, but seeing it on the 500 tick kind of clear. Like, okay, we swept that low. This long at 75, I don't mind it. You're risking 52. Okay, maybe that gets going, and it obviously did get going. It obviously did get going. Where are we at? What time is it? 9:40. It is 9:40. We're seeing, here's a look at options flow thus far today. We're running into 650 almost. We got as high as 48. I'm going to set an alert on 650 because that is a big positive gamma node. And then there's potentially a bleed up to 665 if the market really wants to get going. We're running into 400. Okay, we don't quite need that alert. A little 10-minute fake out breakout there. Is it going to get going?
Order filled. Order filled.
I don't know what just happened. Something happened with my copier where not all the lucids properly followed, but some of them did. So I made 405 on the SIM account, which everything was supposed to, but then something happened with the copier. I think it moved too quickly, if I had to guess. But for some reason, the lead account made 405. The MFFs made 255. And then there's a weird, I don't know, whatever. A winning trade's a winning trade. I can't cry about it, but it just moved a little too fast, I guess. I'm done past my 5 Apex Legacy evals. Congrats, Joseph. That's nice. That's nice. Speaking of which, if you guys want to trade right now today, the partner is Tradeify, code Goonie, 40% off, and you get a better deal if you buy the groupings of 5, which means you can get 5 of the evals for actually less than $500, less than $100 a pop. Use that code Goonie and you could buy that bundle. And I am trading those right now, and we're getting really close. We have about $350 to go until I can pass my own 5. Is SpaceX about to short squeeze? I don't think there's much short interest in SpaceX. So by definition, it would be tough to short squeeze in that setup. It'd be tough to short squeeze. 7 times 5, 35. So let's do 30. And let's do 80. Save as template. Okay, yes, we're going to save that. All right, I'm changing the template a little bit just because today's a high flying type of a day. It's a high flying type of a day. All right, here's a look thus far at the options flow on the S&P 500 pop. Gave a little bit back and it's gearing up again. Are we going? We still have some distance to go here. I'm looking at 50. That would be my main bull target of the day right here. This giant positive gamma node. And if the market keeps going, then I'd be looking at 6.5. And honestly, if I hit that sometime before 11 a.m. today, like I'm just talking higher level, I'd be so stoked with that amount of gains that I would just move on with my life. Short interest, 32%. Short interest, a third of the shares are being shorted. Yeah. There's interesting complications going on with SpaceX right now where, I mean, by magnitude, that is definitely above average. But also the stock has fallen from 200 down to 100. So that doesn't, and there's, we need to talk about this. This is actually like a really important concept. Okay, so by magnitude, you guys are 100% correct to say, hey, that's above the market's average for shorting. It is. But before we dive into the details, which if we have time, I'm happy to do that today. The major thing you need to know is just because you have high short interest, that does not mean it's going to squeeze. That just means it has the ingredients to squeeze, but the gasoline's there. Someone has to light the match, and the match is a lot of buying, and there's just no buying in SpaceX. I find that because of AMC and GME, there was this like common mistake from retail traders thinking that just because something has high short interest, it has to squeeze. No. For something to have a short squeeze, having high short interest is a prerequisite, but that's not the only thing. There's a lot of other moving parts that you like kind of have to have. And one of those is an immense amount of aggressive buying. And right now we're not seeing it. There, if anything, there's an extreme amount of bearish aggression. High short interest on a tiny float. Once again, the gasoline is there. Like, you're not going to find me disagreeing with you guys on that one.
Order filled.
You're not going to find me disagreeing with you guys.
Filled. Order filled.
What the fuck is happening? Dude, every time I do that. I even moved it up that time. Just these wicks are brutal. I would like to try to hold something for a little bit of time rather than a second. But anyway, I don't know. Like I said, I can't cry because on these funded accounts, we're growing it. They're up 400. Looking on the Lucids, some are up 200, some are up 340. But the Tradeifys are 411. They're the ones who are closest to the actual. So remember, I'm trading these all together. So ideally, they're all at 555, but something's a little wonky today. And I think it's just because things are moving so rapidly. And the market orders are technically getting filled at different levels. But anyway, we have about $220 to go until I pass these Tradeifys. 200 buckaroos to go. What do you think about financials tonight? No opinion. Well, like we don't need to predict it. We just need to sit there and wait and see. Remember, the best traders, I'm not talking about investing. Investing and trading seems very similar, but they're actually massively different in what you have to do to be successful within that particular domain. For active trading, you should never be predicting. You should just react to the setups, react to what's going on in price, higher highs, higher lows, react to the earnings, react to the option setup. You want to be reacting of being like, okay, here's the new information. Here's the new price. Is it a good risk to reward setup? Is my system firing? Can I take reasonable size? That's what the game of active trading is. It is reacting, not predicting. You wouldn't want to sit here and be like, okay, I think today's going to go up, so I'm just going to go long today. I think today's going to go down, so I'm going to go short today. You want to react to the developments in front of you. Investing, which takes longer time for it to like obviously play out, that's where you're trying to predict. 5 years from now, is sports betting going to be bigger or smaller, more popular or less popular? 5 years from now, will SpaceX be putting data centers in space, and will they be used? 5 years from now, do you think that there's going to be a winner in the AI race? Who's going to win between Grok and ChatGPT and Anthropic? Those are the times where you have like reason to try to predict whether the start of a trend, the death of a trend, the expanse of a trend, winners, losers, that type of a thing. That's for investing. Active trading, anywhere from day trading to shorter term swing trading, you're just reacting. Because remember, fundamentals win out in the long term, but they have nothing to do with short term movement. Even though Palantir had great earnings, it technically could have got crushed today. We've seen that many times before where earnings beat on top and bottom line, but because of something with their guidance, they get crushed, or vice versa. We've seen companies that miss on their earnings and then yet go up 10% because of maybe something positive the CEO said. So that's the difference of short term. There's a lot more noise. Even this today could be a crazy bullish day, but yet right here, if you went long at 48, well, you had to withstand a hit all the way down 40 points, even though it's a bullish day. So the shorter your time frame, the more noise is involved. And because of that, you are just reacting to the developments in front of your face. The longer your time frame, the less noise, aka randomness. That's like the mathematical term for it. That's when you want to be like, okay, I'm going to size appropriately so I can withstand the noise and the variance and see if my prediction in the long term is right. So, I know sometimes I don't do the best job at being like, sometimes we're talking about longer term stuff. Sometimes we're talking about shorter term stuff. So for that, I do apologize. I'll do a better job at trying to clarify what time frame we're talking on. But it's very, very important to note that the time frame really does dictate how you should be approaching it. Earnings has nothing to do with how the market or an individual stock is going to move in the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But what it does do is like, okay, maybe the next quarter, there's something legit going on. Maybe the next year, there's something legit going on. So there is a time and place for predicting. There's a time and place for just purely reacting to the development in front of you. Very, very important. SPCX, 39% of available shares are currently lent out, leaving ample borrow supply. LO short squeeze. Yeah. So people who are, I didn't really want to get into it, but Supernova is completely right. Why are we probably not seeing the middle of a short squeeze setup for SpaceX is because the utilization rate is nowhere close to being maxed out. As in, there's a lot more shares willing to be lent out there that are not taken out on loan for a legal, legitimate short. So because of that, generally when you see short squeezes, the cost of borrow is skyrocketing, the utilization is held at 100 consistently, and you have a high short interest. And like I said, that's kind of getting into the weeds of it, not necessarily the premise of us watching the market absolutely rip right now, but exciting nonetheless. Devil's in the details. Devil's in the details. Any update on your Millie? Nope. Folks, trust me, I will let you know when there's any update at all on my $1 million payout from Apex. Actually, a sad update. I do have an update for you. A sad update. As of today, I just realized the date. As of today, it's been 6 months. So that's a bummer. I don't know. Once again, not really the premise of today's show. I go back and forth of being optimistic and being like, okay, cool. Like this is all going to work. We're going to have a good partnership. I'm going to get paid my $1 million, to other times just feeling like stupid and gullible. But no, I've had no official communication with the company. And as of today, it's been officially 6 months. It's been half a year of my life. It's been double the time that my son has been alive, 2x my own son's current life, that I have not heard anything from them. You are not getting your $1 million. It's clear by now. I actually feel the opposite. I feel the fact that it's been so long, if they were going to deny me, it would have already been denied. And they would have been like, hey, XYZ, here's our reasoning. And I think they would have like kicked me from the affiliate program and everything like that. I think they're just taking forever to review my case because granted, I'm the highest payout to my knowledge that's still waiting, but there's still a lot of other people from legacy accounts. So maybe they're just going from the bottom up. And because I'm waiting for the biggest payout, maybe it's taking the longest to get from me because it's not just me. At least to my knowledge, there was a lot of people on legacy accounts starting in February, which is when I did the request, that were waiting for the payout. So my biggest assumption right now is for a month or two, no one was getting payouts. And now that they're starting payouts, and I could see on their Twitter, they are doing legacy account payouts. I'm just wondering, are they just going from the bottom up? So that's my guess right now. But like I said, sometimes I'm super optimistic and I'm feeling good about it. Other times I feel like the dumbest person ever, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm still holding out faith that everything will be made all right. So we'll see. We'll see. Gambler's fallacy. What's the gambler's fallacy? That it'll all work out? I'm just internally optimistic about my life. I just kind of generically assume everything will always work out. Your trust is made of steel. I think that's just kind of inherently the kind of person I am. I like to see the good in everyone. I like to see the positive. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. So my goal is to make $213 more on these Tradeify accounts. And it would be nice if I also make those $200 on all of these accounts. And then honestly, I could probably call it a day at this point. I mean, I am kind of awkwardly waiting for this 10 a.m. Palantir still going. SpaceX taking a little bit of a hit. Palantir up 20%. What a monster gain. How many of you are in Palantir? Imagine. I could have put my $1 million in Palantir and I would have been up to 200K. Oh, I should have gotten involved. That was a nice push. Yeah, we'll see. You had a baby. Congrats. Yeah. That's why I was kind of randomly gone. The YouTube algorithm is severely punishing me for taking time off to become a father and try to be a good father, which is really frustrating from the algorithm standpoint. For those of you who don't know, if you're in the world of content, you probably do know that the algorithm gets used to your cadence of posting and how often you put out content. And if you ever go below that, it generally really, really punishes you. So obviously I went from posting multiple times a day to going completely radio silent for the entire month of May, and then restarting in June and going into July. I was kind of doing like an abridged schedule, so still less, and I got severely punished for it. So there's a lot of people who just thought I left, and I did leave, but they don't know that we're back. But yeah, no, I took time off to like help my wife raise a newborn, and he's still a newborn. So still trying to balance becoming a father and doing all that. Trying to manage both as well as I possibly can. SpaceX is not going the way of the overall market. All right, we took out 50. Like I said, 50 was my major target of the day. Things have changed. Scratch that. Scratch that, folks. We have a very interesting update. So we broke and held a bell of 50. 6.5 was still a target. So we got to move that up to 70. And now the clear target is 690. Okay, things have shifted. Okay, so this one needs to go to 70. And now we have a 90 target. All right. So because of the plays of the day, the gamma map has shifted. And you could see that shift in real time. If I were to go back, this was the setup. We had a clear target at 50, reach target at 6.5. This started to grow at 90. That wasn't there at first. You can see at market open, that play did not exist. Fast forward to now, it's clear. It's 90. So we want to break above and hold above 50. That was the major target. Next target is 70. And then from there, 90. If we take those three out, I'm happy as a clam. And I don't think there's any reason to be like greedy and try to overplay that shoot to 700. So I'm watching 50, 70, and 90. If 50 doesn't hold, I'd be looking down at 2.5. So those are all the key levels that I'm currently paying attention to. 50 looking for that to hold, 70 then 90. If 50 does not hold, then I'm looking down here at 2.5, and below 2.5 you have the downside gap fill at 610, and below 610 you have yesterday's close at 600. So these would be your bearish levels, obviously, because they are below, and these would be your bullish levels, obviously, because they are above. Feeling very, very confident in those levels today, just because they are high percentile plays. Like this is a 99 percentile play. So looking at all of that today. Dad's suggestion, rock, paper, scissors, best 2 out of 3. And when you want to say no to them, if you can't beat them, your child, they deserve to stay up late or get some candy. I like that. I like that. Just like gets oddly good at rock, paper, scissors. I'm not really doing anything at the moment because in about 3 minutes, we're going to be getting the Jolts job openings, which means we might be hearing from our boy Rick Santilli. But right here, Jolts job openings coming out in 3 minutes. Jolts job openings. Jeff Bezos just filed to sell $4 billion in Amazon. He probably needs to buy a new yacht or something. He needs to buy a new yacht. Our boy Bezos. SpaceX earnings live updates. First report since IPO. Starlink and AI in focus. The key metrics to watch for the SpaceX reports. First set of results this week.
It's a big week for SpaceX. It'll report its first earnings as a public company after the bell on Tuesday, followed by the first major stock lockup expiration on Thursday. So with SpaceX down more than 20% from the IPO price, down more than 50% from its trading high, stakes are stratospheric, and not just for the company and for Elon Musk. Let's start with earnings. Starlink results, CapEx plans, those will likely matter the most. Starlink, which is part of connectivity, is the profit engine for SpaceX, and it counters big spending on both Starship and XAI as it builds an integrated AI tech stack that spans semi-manufacturing with Tesla, frontier AI models, and applications as it buys Cursor. The key question, how much does Starlink subscriber growth, neo-cloud deals with the likes of Anthropic and Google, and multi-billion-dollar government contracts offset that cash burn? As for stock lockup expirations, it starts Thursday when 911 million shares owned by some 20% of insiders become eligible to sell. Now, just to put that in perspective, SpaceX sold 629 million shares, or less than 5% of shares outstanding, in the IPO. So we're talking about a lot of supply poised to come online. That's just the start, too. More lockup expirations will follow. Through the end of September, the public float could triple overall. Take a look at that chart to see what I'm talking about.
Wow.
All of this isn't just expected to impact SpaceX either. Other space stocks have been selling off in the wake of the IPO. Could move in sympathy here. Wall Street's expecting more pressure. Short interest in SpaceX specifically sits at an estimated 35%. So we'll see what this week brings.
We'll see what this week brings. All right. Interesting to know, but we are how many seconds away? About 30 seconds away-ish. 30-ish seconds away until we get the JOLTS job openings. I don't think this is going to be like the most impactful thing ever, but I think within the 1 minute, 2 minute, we're going to see a little bit of movement for sure. So maybe we'll drop it. We'll here drop the time frame, see how this really wants to play out. We'll drop the time frame, see how this wants to get going on the day. See how this wants to get going on the day. All right. What are we at? 5, 4, 3, 2,
Order
1. My bot caught that right here. The pro account right here. Pro locked in 145. That was at 0 before. Anyway, not much of a movement, honestly. Where's our boy Rick? Give us Rick or give us death. Give us Rick. JOLTS job openings coming in lighter than expected. Forecast 7.44 million, came in at 7,359.
Good Tuesday morning.
The bot caught that right there. Went long at 65, locked in 145.
To record highs here following Monday's big rally, driven in large part by mega cap tech. We'll talk to noted investor.
Where's our boy Rick?
How long this rally can last. Plus, SpaceX higher ahead of its first earnings report as a public company, though still well below that IPO price. We'll be joined by an analyst who says it's a buy. And we'll get to these huge moves in Caterpillar and Palantir and how AI is playing a role in the earnings reports from both of those companies.
First, though, let's get some factory orders and JOLTS from Rick Santelli.
There we go.
Good morning, Carl. Indeed, June JOLTS job opening labor turnover expected to be right around 7.455 million, and it comes in on the light side, 7,359,000.
Rick's in chat,
that
folks.
Would be the
Show respect for the
rate
man.
Going back to March of this year.
Show respect
under
for the man.
6.9 million. Now, if we look at factory orders, this is a fresh June number, expecting up 2/10, comes in down 3/10. Down 3/10, of course, compares to last month, down 1.3, which makes it, unfortunately, the best month since it was positive over 5 in April. Now, if we take transportation away, it's still a negative number, expecting up 4/10 ex-trans. We're now down 4/10. That would be the lightest number going back to April of 25. Now, let's look at durable goods. And remember,
Bot just caught that. We're now at
reads.
290.
So unlike factory orders, we had a mid-month June. These replaced that. So the headline number was up 3/10. It improves to up 5/10. That would be the best read since it was up over 8 in April of this year. Ex-transportation, we see that the number improves rather markedly. We see it's up 7/10 ex-transportation, and that would be the best read since May when it was up 1.8%. Now, let's get to the orders side of the equation. Capital good orders, non-defense ex-aircraft, proxy for capital spending, something to pay attention to. This is a powerful number, up 1.2%. Very strong number. That would be the strongest number since March, which was the high water mark.
Buyers
at
at
68
so
these have been
and
very,
63.
very solid numbers. And finally, if we look at shipments,
Bookmap's
versus
right above
orders,
me.
Also been on the high
The
side.
buyers at
Comes in
68 just got
2%.
pulled.
We're
Maybe they went down to
expecting a number a
63
little below
here.
that level. Up 2% would be the best level going back to December of 21. December of 21 when it was up 2.1%. So those are very good numbers. They point to some better activity down the road. How did all this square with the markets? Well, we see that we are now down about 5.5, 6 basis points in a 10-year. We're down 5 basis points in a 2-year. Of course, oil is the big driving force here as potentially some good news on the Straits of Hormuz. We are going to pay very close attention to the market above, right around 4.67 in a 10-year is a good technical pivot to use. Sarah, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Rick Santelli. And just talking about the bond market, I'll pick it up because there's this debate developing in the markets around the new Fed chairman, Kevin Warsh, and the strategy not to give forward guidance or much on the reaction function. Remember last week, we were going into the Fed meeting, and it was kind of a toss-up of what he would do. Will they hike? Because he's been so hawkish in his tone and saying, we're very serious about price stability, very serious about inflation. We're not going to let it, overheat. We're not going to waver from our mandate. So there was a thought that they should and could raise interest rates to back up that claim. He did not. And as a result, afterwards, we did see yields go up pretty much across the board. And so it stirred this debate about Fed credibility and the strategy and whether it's refreshing, as Charlie Scharf just told you guys, the CEO of Wells Fargo.
Yes, I was hoping you'd refer to that.
Yeah, or whether it's, problematic.
All right,
so Jan
this
Hatzius
is already
actually published
massively
today, the head
boring.
economist at Goldman Sachs.
All right, so just in terms of levels, okay, we're going up to 70. So remember, if we break and hold 50, great. Next target is 70. If we break and hold 70, great. Ultimate target on the day is 690, maybe a slight overshoot of that. It goes 50, 70, 90. Obviously, those are bullish targets to the downside. Well, at this point, you have 50. Below that, it's 25. Let's see how this has actually changed a little bit. Maybe 20, but really it's becoming 600 if we get a reversal off of any of these levels. But time will tell. Time will tell. I'm going to wait a hot second. Time will tell. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? What is today's date? The 4th. The 4th. All right. All right. If you are in the Discord, I'm throwing Piper in there now for you guys. Okay, good. I'm liking that. I'm digging that. Palantir, crazy gains. SpaceX. Let's bring this up. Let's set this up a little bit better. 68, dude. This is just climbing. I keep thinking I shouldn't chase it, and then it just goes anyway. Looks like people are trying to sell at 35. Wow. Okay, so what's my actual goal? We don't need to overdo it today, even though this appears to be somewhat of a ripper. 70, don't want to chase it here because 70 is a clear positive gamma node right there. So expecting a little bit of profit taking. Wouldn't mind a dip a little bit of a dippity doodah, a little bit of a dippity doo day. I mean, this is really ripping. And there's still the downside gap fill. Please be cognizant of the fact that there is still a downside gap fill. Maybe it doesn't get filled today. Maybe it pukes into close. I don't know, but I guess the breakout was here at 10:02, which is a sketchy time to play it. So I can't kick myself that much for missing it because, I mean, we didn't even dip to the 50 EMA and it was just past 10. It could be the fake out vomit. I mean, this is looking good. You're like, yeah, why would you not take that? Well, at this moment in time, it could have easily been a fake out breakout, a lower high that turned. So if you missed it, I don't mind missing that one. I think a stronger one was here at 940, which is a little early for a lot of people, myself included. 948 was decent, but missing this one, I mean, we've just seen this particular setup so many times, and I just don't even think it works out 50% of the time. Of course, in this example, it worked out, and it worked out really, really nice because you're already up 50 points and you're probably done on the day. But I don't know. I'm almost wondering if we're just going to get this, like we're right at time. I can't bring myself to chase here. We're at resistance, going long at resistance. Yeah, it works if you're in the 50% bucket that resistance breaks, but the other risk is having a long at the worst fill of the day. So I just don't feel like risking it, especially when I'm $213 away from passing all these tests. $18 is the farthest away one. So nah, I can't bring myself to do it. Can't bring myself to do it. I'll have to wait. And hey, if the train leaves the station, if the rocket takes off without me, so be it, brother. So be it. What bot do I use? I make my own. My background's in computer science and coding. Buying other people's bots is not a good idea because you kind of don't know how to evaluate. Is it working properly? Is it working improperly? So in terms of what bot do I use, I just make my own. That's the beautiful thing about NinjaTrader is it has strategy builder, it has Ninja Script, and right now with AI, you can build your own relatively easily. Like literally, if you have Ninja on your computer, if you're already kind of familiar with it, within the next half hour, hour of your life, you could be running a trading system. I don't know if it's going to be good, but it definitely you could be up and running with it relatively easily. All right, little dip to 500. Do I like the dip to 500? That's a tough call. I mean, I didn't even tag it yet. I have no position. Obviously, I locked in anywhere from 411 down to 181, depending on the account today. So we've locked in a couple $1,000s on futures. We locked in a couple $1,000s on options as well. And in retrospect, if I had bigger balls, I could have held those earlier entries and I'd be up a lot. But I need to be a bit more conservative because it's the overconfidence that seemingly murders my account. Can you talk about your payout with Apex? At least give us an update. There is no update. I'm just waiting. Waiting. That's the full update. That's the start and the end. Waiting, patiently waiting. Patiently waiting. Am I still in Rumble? Yep, I still have Rumble stock. Still have Rumble stock. Do not have any calls or puts. Rumble's an investment for me. I still have it. Still have RUM stock. Once again, that's a multi-year play for me, if not multi-decade. It's not an active trade. Not what I perceive to be an active trade. Caught itself at 500. Little consolidation. Are we getting this follow through? What time is it? It's 10:11. We're right there on SPX at 70. That's such a tough. Is it gonna go? SPX flow is not looking the best. Mag 7 is looking really good. Nasdaq is also looking good. So Nasdaq and Mag 7 want to get ripping. S&P 500, a little questionable.
Order filled.
All right, what was that? That was at 30.
Connection lost.
Are you fucking kidding me? What was that? 30. So let's do this at 45. Okay, so the issue is the Lucids do not have a trade. All right, so I need to disconnect those and figure out what is going on. But I just want to make sure they don't have a pending order because that's like what screws me in the past. There is an order? All right, hang on. Let me just fully disconnect Lucid. That's on Lucid? Hang on, something's... Okay, disconnected Lucid. Reconnecting Lucid. My data dropped. I've been having power issues. Orders. Do I see Lucid? I do. Okay, how about this? Orders. Cancel all orders. Cancel all orders. Okay. And then on my SIM account, okay, so this should be taking care of the Tradeify and the MFF, hopefully. 44 was. But then something weird because I see Lucids, but I think that's an error because of the data disconnect. You guys heard the audios and having a little bit. So I don't think there's any orders actually on Lucid. And I guess I could probably clear it. Yeah. Okay. So it's showing no orders on Lucid. So I don't think I'm going to get into that weird position where it has like the opposite order. Yeah. I think I'm good. Okay, cool. All right. So unfortunately, what I'm not good about is that, Phil. But honestly, I still like it. I still like this trade. Honestly, I could have just filled the Lucid ones right there. But I'm going to focus on this because if I can hit this one trade, I'm done with Tradeify. And as in I hit the goal and I could upgrade those all today. But let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. What do you think about D-Wave Quantum? Quantum computing plays have big movements, big ranges, but I mean, are you asking as a trade or an investment? Right now, quantum computing is one of the most overhyped things possible. Not only is the science very far away from making it viable, but it's even farther away from making it commercially viable, as in running a good business around it. So if you're in these quantum computing plays, it depends. Are you investing or are you trading? If you're trading, the only thing you need for a good trade is good range, because as a trader, you need big ranges to make big money. As an investor, you want it to be a fundamentally viable company, and that is not what quantum computing is. As an investor, no. If you were considering investing in it, you haven't done 30 seconds of research. It is the science of quantum computing. We are years and years away, and that's just the science to make it work. And then to make it commercially viable, we're even farther away. So no. But did all the orders get pulled? Okay, cancel all orders. Okay, something is weird. Cancel pending. There's a data hang up with Lucid right now, so I just need to disconnect, reconnect. But anyway, I did pass all the Tradeifys. Look at 53, 53, 53, 53, 53. So you know what we're gonna do? Workspace, save as main X. Okay, so we have that. What I'm gonna do is kill this. We're gonna kill Ninja. We're gonna restart Ninja. Please don't look at my password. Please don't look at my password. Please don't look at my password. Is Ninja opening? Okay. Apparently, no one's. I can't even. Oh, here we go. Okay. But by the way, shout out to Tradeify. There can only be one instance. Okay, whatever. Tradeify, 40% off. You could buy buckets of 5, get a better deal. Use that code Goonie. Why we're talking about Tradeify is because I just passed it. Let me log in. I'm trying to hide my, not that I don't trust you guys, but it's that I don't trust you guys. But we're logging in and we're going to see if we could do the upgrade in real time. Come on. No. Wait. Oh, it just hasn't updated yet. Consistency 50, 50, 50, 50. So it hasn't updated the full trade yet. So I don't know, it's going to probably take like 5 minutes or something. It's a little bit behind. So it uptraded my trade balance 53, 53, 53, but it hasn't done all the tests yet of the 50% consistency, which I know I've passed that because I haven't even made right here highest day profit. So it's actually impossible to have 3K in net profit, but your consistency be over 50%, because that would mean that I made over 1,500. 50% of 3K is 1,500. You can see right here, highest day profit is 1.1. So it just hasn't run its checks yet. So we'll come back to that in a second. But as soon as it runs its checks, I will be able to trade all these Tradeifys. But right here, did that live with you guys today. And just to not mess it up, I'm going to disconnect these and then we could reconnect when I upgrade those. Someone said every 20 minutes. Okay, so I'll just wait a little bit. What's your password is getting cracked? Hey, we cracked those accounts today. All right, cool beans. Beans are cool. Beans are cool. All right. Someone shout out to Supernova. You said that it updates every 20 minutes. So we'll just circle back to this, but I did pass those today. So I'm almost wondering, yesterday when I hit all my goals, I kind of just stopped and like hit the pause button. And to be completely honest, I'm a little frustrated that these got disconnected because they would have done well. Obviously, the MFFs, everything should be up 815, but because of data disconnections and slippage, the MFFs are up 651, and the Lucids, well, one's up 181, one's 196, the other are 340. So it's a little frustrating because the lead account, which was SIM, which is what my trade copier is hooked up to, if everything was perfect, everything would be up 815. And being up 815 before 1030, I am more than happy to call it a day. Like, I would be happy to shut this down right now. But now there's like the little devil on my shoulder saying, hey, man, maybe you should be trading this a little bit. Maybe you should be trading this. Or do I just shut it down? Or do I just shut her down? Decisions, folks. Decisions. Sometimes we all just have to make a decision. Little recovery right there. Hang on, let me check out flow. S&P 500 really choppy, doesn't know what to do. Mag 7 climbing. NASDAQ climbed flat, not really trending at the moment. In terms of this, any new positions? Not really. We're still looking at 690. I need to be so incredibly clear of it. I find no advantage of being greedy past 690. If you are trading on a 0 DTE basis, maybe you're swinging something and you're looking to scale out today, I can't tell you what to do with your money. It is your money. I'm not your mom. Though I know some of you wish I was your mom. If it hits 690, that risk. I mean, yeah, could it break out and go? Yes, of course it could. But we're just looking at what is statistically likely. And you wouldn't want it to run up to 690. You're greedy at 7.7. It turns right there and then just chills all the way down at 640, 650. It's just, you have to ask yourself, is that extra little push worth the chance of a rejection at a key gamma level? So for me, that's why I like to scale out. I'm going into it because, like, okay, yeah, scale out a little bit. But for me, I'm already out of things to scale out. But just looking at this up, this is a 99th percentile play. Now, we've seen 99 percentile plays get cracked. It is possible for this player to get cracked. It's just we're trying to play the reasonable odds here, and that's just not what I would say is the likely outcome. So once again, if you're like, no, I'm feeling it today, maybe you have a different way to do an analysis on the market and you're like, no, man, Mag 7's looking good. It's going to go. Let's go. I mean, I do wish you luck. Like, I hope you crush it. I'm not going to be rooting against you. But I mean, the goal here, I guess in my mind, is to go with the flow. We want to be trading with the flow of big traders, with the market movers, with the actual people who have an actual impact in the market. Rather than just like hoping that things play out. So we're trying to go with the flow. And the flow is big player money movement. And I could see big player money movement is clearly structured at 690. And I don't necessarily feel like fighting against that today. I don't really feel like fighting against that today. Right back to 70. Remember, someone in chat just said right back to 70. You're 100% right. This actually might serve as support now. It might serve as support. So let's watch this to see if there's a little bottom formed here and we start to pop. That'd be interesting. It is also roughly aligning with NQ at 500. So it's not the craziest area to bounce off of. Not the craziest area to bounce off of. Why are these Keltner channels so incredibly far from each other? I don't know what that's about. We just have some EMAs on. It's the 50, it's the 100, the 10, 20, 30. Just trying to get, well, I mean, today's pretty obvious. We're just fucking popping. I'm curious. We have these recent lows. We have a dip low at 947 and then everywhere from 956 to 1001. Are we returning to 440? And that's the question. And a better question than are we returning to 440 is if it does return to 440, should we be buying? Actually, that's a question for all of you. Who did their homework? And more importantly than doing your homework, who feels like they're like spot on today? Because I would like one more solid trade. If it dips to 440, should I buy it? If it dips to 440 right here, these recent lows, it's in between the 50 and the 100. Is that well, apparently the buy was at 500. Matt, what is your net worth? About like 6 raspberries at this point. 7 on a good day. I don't know. I just paid my credit card bill, and even Capital One was like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? What are these evaluations? Stop doing that. You know you're at a bad point in your futures trading career when every single time you buy an eval, your credit card pauses the payment and makes you reassure that it is you. And they're like, there's no way someone is so fucking stupid in this world that they would be on their 40th evaluation of the week. Like, even my credit Capital One's like, dude, what the fuck? So yeah, I would say a solid 6 to 7 raspberries is my current net worth, but we're working on it. We're working on this. Bag of tulipables. I wish, man. I wish. All right. Did this update on Tradeify? I would love to upgrade these live with all of you. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Maybe at 10:30. I don't know. We'll just keep coming back to it. But we passed those today. Stoked about that. Made some money on funded accounts right here. This eval didn't trade as about $400 ago. This pro account up about 800 buckaroos. This was day one of MFF and also of Lucid. And those are all up 650. And then the Lucid's got a weird disconnection issue. It happens. It happens. It happens. Palantir, this is insane. Palantir's up 25% and climbing. That's ridiculous. How many of you thumbs up, hands up, something, some sort of emoji if you are in Palantir in one way or another? Are you playing calls on it, short-term swinging it? Are you invested in the stock? I guess for transparency, I am invested in PLTR. It's not the biggest thing, but it is a position in my long-term portfolio. So I am not crying about this 25% pop at all. I made a couple bucks shorting Palantir. Not today. Obviously, recently it did take a hit, so I could see calls. I'm investing long-term. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. I guess buying at 500 was the move. I guess buying at 500 was the move. Yeah, that was a pretty solid breakout. You could be in at 517. It's a little bit of a wide risk, but we'll see. Got stonks and calls on Palantir. I mean, it's working. It's working. It's working. It's working. Congrats to everyone who had the balls to play it. That's a monster move. That's a monster move. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. I don't want to chase this. I want to chase it, but I shouldn't chase it is what I'm attempting to say. All right. We found a nice shelf. Yeah, we kind of overshot this low at 500, found a shelf at 490. We took out these highs, these highs, these highs, and now we just have the intraday high. I don't mind this trade at 1025. It's very similar to what we've seen today, 1005, 1002. I don't think it's necessarily going to be the perfect strategy if you're always trading that, but for today's vibe, a consolidation breakout to the north has thus far worked pretty well. You think Barry's pissed now? I think he already covered his short on Palantir. I think he's done and moved on.
Filled.
Oh, the bot's trading. Oh, already locked in. Sorry, I was too slow. Locked in 435. Not a bad deal. 15-minute SPY forming a doji. I think a lot of people talk about dojis, but if you do any statistical analysis on it, they're kind of just like I don't think there's like an interesting EV setup to play it. Like maybe if there's a doji and then in the next bar you break an extreme, that shows a potential trend. So like I don't mind that. But I don't like I think a lot of people try to make emoji or doji bars something that they're not. But also, is that not just the truth of trading in general? Is people try to see shit everywhere and it just doesn't exist? Like yesterday, we were talking about the 15-minute Orbo breakout. People talk about trading the initial balance, retracements, and all that stuff. Like, there's so many people who they see one thing and they see a proof of concept as in it works one time, and then they try to extrapolate that forward and think that it has to work all of the times, when really you can easily cherry pick any of this stuff and be like, look, this is what you should be trading. But that doesn't mean it's net profitable. It just means that it either worked or didn't work in that one trade. And that's why we have to do more robust testing. That's why we have to do more robust testing. Speaking of that, dude, this shit's going back to 30,000 flat. I'd be looking at 750 followed by 30,000. Golly, this thing is pumping. Look at that. 10-minute rocket. That's crazy. It's probably a nice trade there. Somewhere between 515 and 530 was a decent shot at a breakout continuation. I wouldn't be chasing it here. You got to wait for some sort of pullback. I'm getting a bit hesitant at these levels because we're not necessarily holding 70. So I can see the NASDAQ is ripping, but we're starting to see a clear deviation. Mag 7 popped, kind of going flat. NASDAQ popping. S&P 500 selling. Actually just got a flow alert. So something is a little mismatched here. And I'm a little bit, or I should be more willing to be degenerate when everything is aligning. But right now, something is up. Something's crazy here. SPY getting hit ever since 1020 so much at 1028 it fired a flow alert, and that's happening at this level. My spidey senses are tingling. My spidey senses are tingling at this one. So I want to be a bit patient. I would rather miss the play if it keeps going than getting into it when it's one thing when you have a trade and you just lose and it was a good setup and whatever, it's variance. It's different when you're trading and also consciously on the front of your mind, right at the beginning of your goddamn cortex, you saw something was weird. I would be extremely angry at myself if I punt it long here, it drops, and I literally just pointed out to all of you that we're running to the top of positive gamma. I see SPX getting annihilated, and I'm not necessarily sold on the fact that we're holding 70. Yeah, the story can change. Maybe we break this recent high at 73. I'll set an alert. Maybe this flow alert's bullish and it turns around, but I got to wait to see it. Like I said, it's one thing, at least for me personally, I can stomach it when I took a real legitimate trade. It was a perfect setup. It just doesn't go my way. That's trading. That's variance. Accept it. It's completely different when you're forcing a trade and you're like, no, I want it to go up because I'm trying to make money. But then yet I'm literally explaining how something weird is going on in real time. Mag 7 taking a little bit of a turn. S&P 500 dumping. It's the delta low. There's a flow alert. And then even the NASDAQ just popped and kind of gave some back. I'm wondering if this doesn't hold. I mean, I'd be looking for a dip to, what is this, 58. So we have the 1 minute 50 EMA. Yeah, if it doesn't hold, I'd be looking for that. On the flip side, this could be the first real dip of the day that's worthwhile to buy, which is why I keep coming back here to see what's going on with this flow alert, because a huge dip, flow alert kept dipping, but maybe that's the end of it. Maybe someone's just getting out, and we're getting a little bit about that breakout. We're popping. It's a fresh high. Fake out, breakdown low. Patience. So SPY turning up, so was the NASDAQ for a second there, but it turned right before that high. Sold off, consolidation, breakout, continuation right here. Consolidation, breakout, but not a new high. It's worse when your consistency to lose money, because when you're trying to lose money, it keeps going up. Oh, just do a lot of trades. Just pay the commissions. Just do a lot of contracts and go in and out as quickly as you can and just burn the commissions. That's a way to lower it. It's probably a better way to do it. Actually, that's probably the best way to do it, is I just go over to MNQ and I just trade a lot and burn the commissions rather than trying to do actual wrong trades. But if you're trying to do an actual wrong trade and you pick a direction and it goes in your favor, as in your green, you were still wrong on the trade because you were attempting for it to do something and the opposite happened. So you still had an attempt. And I obviously understand how it's like kind of upside down because you're going up, and like it is funny. It's happened to me before, but it's still, your prediction on the market was still wrong. I got up 13K trying to go down to 1K. Yeah, once again, all you have to do is burn commissions. Literally just load up contracts and buy and sell. See how quickly you can push buy and sell, and you'll burn those profits. I have to lose like 1K. Yeah, you could do that in 5 seconds. You could do that in 30 seconds. 5 seconds is a bit bombastic, but in 30 seconds, you could lose 1K. It's how quickly can you hit the buy and the sell button. It's not like a complicated thing. Multiple contracts, buy and sell, and you'll see it quickly go down. You'll see it very quickly go down. This is looking decent now. Does it want to go up to 90? So the SPY is showing some bottoming signs. The SPY is showing some bottoming signs. Right here. 1 minute bullish, 5 minute bullish, 10 minute, 5 minutes maybe trying to get going. 1 minute. That's quite the push, though. That is quite the push. Doesn't want to dip to 500, maybe. Does it want to dip to 500? Tough call. Tough call. Tough call. This is like quite the push, that just chasing right here. Like, it did make a fresh high. Now we have to watch this low. I wonder if the plays are just done on the day. Let's throw the fractals up. Okay, you can see we had equal lows, lower highs. We just made a fresh high because we took this one out. So it's going to be interesting to see what the next low is that's formed. Let's throw the fractals up here as well. Higher lows, maybe equal lows, equal highs. So a little bit of a different setup, kind of a slightly undershot. We're taking out that low. I don't know. Maybe 500 is the level. Maybe 500 is the level. Why I'm saying that is I see 500. I see these recent lows. I see the 1 minute 50 EMA. I wonder if a little bit of patience will pay and we could save ourselves 30 points. Or maybe just fucking rips. Who knows? The SPY's not convincing me the most. Not the most. Right here. Big sell-off. Looked like it wanted to recover. Kind of going flat. Has the structure changed much? Negative gamma is creeping a little bit between 80 and 55. So if we crack 70, this could definitely go back down to 50. Or we could just pop something just had to get announced. What was that? Market just went crazy. Here, I'll show you on the 100 tick. We just went from 530 to 570 down. Something had to come out. I would assume related to Iran. Let's see. Is Trump popping off on True Social? 20 seconds ago, Trump deals imminent as Iran talks restart Monday on denuclearization and Hormuz. So he just reposted a Breitbart one. So the bot's quickly reacting to that. Trump posting a Breitbart article that says deal is imminent. And that was the result. That was the result there. Timo. Oh, what is the smart play here? That was a big wick. Big pop up, failed. Really does make me feel like we're at least coming down to 500. Key technical, psychological level. It does. So that pop didn't hold anything. All right, let's see how this 500. We're at 522. Closely watching it. By the way, if we snap it, yes, of course, you do have support. I don't know, 490, 484, somewhere a little 10 points below. You do have VWAP down at 456. Buyer stepping back in. Maybe a little triple bottom right there. Maybe they're not worrying about this. Maybe this is our new consolidation and could be an interesting long above 550. How's SPX looking? All right. So Trump doing Trump stuff with the market. The 1 minute 50 EMA is down here at 500. Daily's looking good. 1 minute is chilling a little bit. All right, here, let's go to the dude. Palantir is a runaway train, folks. It is a runaway train on this one. Congrats to everyone who played it. Wow. It just won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Palantir. Holy cow. Yeah, 90. Well, not the easiest thing to play because really the move was from a Trump development. Oh, is the bot going to trade at all? Maybe yes, maybe no. Who really knows these days with bots? You can't trust them bots, you know? These damn wire backs. Will Palantir come down later tonight? Do you really think someone in this world knows the answer to that? These fucking clankers. Yeah, you can't trust a goddamn clanker. That's for sure. All right. So we popped, pulled back a little bit, and now we're just kind of holding. Spies pushing a little more. Qs are kind of doing their Q thing. Is it going to get going? I don't know. Do I want a pending order on a potential breakout? Fuck. What do I want to do here? What do I want to do? Am I overdoing it? Am I underdoing it? Am I doing it just the right amount? Ron deal imminent. That's a first. LOL. When you going to buy that early post, it's only 100K per month. Honestly, probably someone made huge size money on that trade.
Order filled. Order filled.
So one got knocked out. Oh, because I didn't change the break even thing. Okay, that's fine. I know how to do it. I'll manually do
Order
it.
filled.
The bot took that. Oh, it's live. Bot's live. Pro. Looking for, looks like 54.56. And then I went break even. The first one got knocked out for break even. I messed up the order a little bit because I haven't changed it. It's going to get knocked out. Come on, go, go, go. Don't knock me out. Just let me have this one. Do I want to risk 33? I'm in at 44. That's 11 points. That's not too bad. Do I want to let this one go a little bit? Is the real, like, do I want to give it a shot to return back up to, what is that, 72? Do I want to give it a shot? Well, while we're deciding, the bot just locked in 580. All right. I should turn the bot. Okay. There's that. And then where, let's go. Okay. Bot's done. I would love this breakout of IB. What is this? IB is 68.50. So that is the high of the first hour. So 68.50, I could comfortably go to break even. Do I just want to target 90? I'm going to give this a second. I'm praying it's not breaking down. This is the first one. I silly got knocked out for break even when I could have taken 5 on it. That was silly. It wasn't quick enough to switch the order. But that's what happens. It's A-okay. We can't cry over it. We can't cry over it. Okay. As you can see above my head, according to Bookmap, there's sellers at 60, 60, 60, 60, which is literally the wall we just ran into over there. 60. I'm hoping this is my last trade of the day. I really, really am. I'm really hoping this is my last trade of the day. I would love a pop follow through. Take out. Do I want to go break even earlier if we take out those 60 sellers right above my head? We're at 50. I'm long at 44, as you could see on the screen. Above my head, I could see sellers at 60. IB is 68. So maybe in the middle, maybe if we hit 64, if we take out 6, should I just go break even now, make it a free trade? We go fishing on the day? I mean, it's pretty close. This could easily clock me, but I'd rather get knocked out for break even than actually lose. But then that's also eating into my drawdown on MFF. So that's another thing to consider. What is this swing low? That's not bad. 33 to 11 points. I'm risking 200. For some of these, it's what I made on the day. Other ones, I have a bit more room. I feel like I'm kind of rushing some of these where if I like gave them a bit more room, they would be fine. But you say that until it's not fine and then it destroys you. Oh, I'm torn. I'm torn. I feel like I'm trying to play it like quick. Like I just want in and out, where sometimes the big moves, you need time to breathe, brother. Like I could raise. How much risk is this? What's the extreme risk? The extreme risk is 1-2. So I can't go past 1-2. I am up 600. So that would be giving back 600. I go negative 600. Can't really afford that because it would eat into my buffer pretty heavily. My life would just be easier if this rips above 70. Like, you know what? I don't even want to have to figure out this math. Why can't NASDAQ here just help a boy out, rip it past 70, call it a day, and we'll move on. Call it a day. Stop it. A lot of consolidation now. A lot of consolidation. We're just chilling. I think it's just a patience play at this point now. Little bummer because on the 2 contract, I could have locked in one at 5 or 8 points. So that would have given me an extra 5 or 8 points of buffer, which, hey, every point counts. But like I said, the ATM auto break even was not correct. But whatever. It was break even. Can't cry over it. Matt, it will go higher. Yeah, the question is, will it go higher now? I, too, agree it will go higher. The question is, what is the pathway to going higher? Because sometimes we have random 50, 100-point dips, and then it goes higher. All right. Come on, dude. We're just grinding it sideways. What's this? 58, 60, 61. What are we doing? We're at 80 on SPX. I'm really looking at this 90 level. I'm really looking at this 90 level. All right, let's set an alert for 88. Add alert. Okay, 88. We'll add an alert for 90. I'm really eyeing this up over here. Feels like someone knows something I don't. SPY strongly recovering. That should be good. 1038, nice pop. Got hit, full alert, went flat, picking up, setting up for maybe a move to 88. Like, this is the play I want. It's just, can I play it? Like, will it work now? Will it work now? Nope. Apparently not is the answer. Oh, is it just, do I just need some patience? I mean, that flow is really picking up. Like, that's looking decent. This is looking decent too. I have the alert, so I'm not going to miss it. It's just, once again, whoever said it in chat, I do agree this is going up. But that's an easier prediction than what is the pathway of going up. It would be nice if it just kept going. But sometimes you have a really messy pathway. Mag 7 flat, NASDAQ flat, SPY solid recovery. It was call selling, calls went flat. Now call buying, puts are flat. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, mother. Oh, brother. Oh, mother. Oh, brother. Not like in 4 minutes of red. I was really hoping we popped. I was hoping on this. It's a little fake out. We wicked higher. Does not bring me joy, to be completely honest. Does not bring me joy. There are buyers at 25. There's buyers at 15. I see some buyers trying to protect this recent low. Some people are just playing the $25 psychological level. I'm gonna try to give this one time. I do have a little bit of room. I don't have the most room, especially based on today's ranges, but we're gonna see what we could do here. We're gonna see what we can do. And really, I'm at the point of looking for a fresh high. So the previous high is 561. So I'm looking for a fresh high and I'm looking for higher lows. So we have equal highs, or roughly equal highs, but we do have higher lows. So I'm looking for this continuation, these little red carrots. I want another higher low, which could be fine at 27. That's fine. But I'm really looking for the breakout of 61 because that would mean we have a fresh high and a real shot of testing 72, which is the current intraday high. And then also I'm simultaneously monitoring the situation because I'm looking for this push to 88, 90. Because if it gets rejected here and NQ is doing nothing, I probably need to get out. So actually, maybe a better way to, what is that low? That low is 28. I was break even for a second. I'm long at 44. Not the best fill, not the worst fill. I don't know how I want to do it. I don't know how I want to do it. If it's a failed bounce and get out, how do you know if it's failed? You don't know if it's failed until it's already done. It's going down. You never know the next bar. You never know if you're getting a random God candle or a random hell Satan candle. A lot of trading is incredibly easy in hindsight, but then it's in real time where you're like, there's a lot more unknowns. Well, it gets under POC, but I see absorption. You mean trading? People love to throw around terms like that, and I just think they're like incredibly overcomplicating it. So you're saying absorption because basically that's a very fancy way in this situation to say resistance. Okay, but resistance is resistance until it's not. So once again, in real time, how do you possibly use that? When people say absorption, they're literally just trying to use a fancy order flow term to basically say support or resistance. Look it, we didn't break above here. That's absorption. Look it, we didn't go below here. That's absorption. Basically, you run into a wall, whether bullish or bearish, multiple times. People like to sound fancy and call it absorption. My argument is, how do you know that it's going to hold or not? So like, okay, right here, you could be like, well, there was absorption. It broke, so you should go long. Nope, it was a fake out. And on the next one, I don't know if it's real or not. You don't know the next bar until the next bar is completely done. And that's always inherently going to be true because you just don't know what the next trader after you is about to do. The next bar is always going to be decided by the next group of willing buyers and willing sellers and the decisions, what they're going to do. You don't know what they're going to do. Just because we have run into a wall doesn't mean it's going to remain a wall. It might remain a wall. It's totally possible, but it doesn't mean it has to. And I find that here's the point it controls at 32, by the way. I find that there's too many traders who trade in a way that things have to be gospel. Like they have to play out a certain way. And it's really, really dangerous because you have to, the thing you have to do is accept the fact that there's a lot of unknowns, there's a lot of variance, and there's going to be a lot of counter examples to whatever you think a good core rule is. It's too many unknowns. It's too many variables. And this is not breaking the way I want it to. Yeah, well, it gets under P's, but I see absorption. We'll see if it actually matters. What's happening? Did I hear an alert? No. But so this might be one of those situations where the SPY goes and it hits the levels and then NQ was flat the entire time and I'll be lucky to get out for break even. I need to pay close attention because if the SPY goes up here, gets smacked, and the NQ doesn't react at all, I was playing NQ because it was relatively stronger, and I like the NQ anyway a bit more. But if we run up on SPX, something is going on here. I do see some buyers at POC at 32. I see some people, like it's right above my head. You can see where they're at. They're at 20, 25, 27. So like there's some buyers beneath me, and I'm looking for the bounce, but I'm a little bit dismayed by the fact that SPX is pushing an intraday and all-time high while NQ is not. It's grinding sideways. If anything, it's slightly down. So I need to be insanely careful about this because if we start to hit these levels, there's a real chance of, guess what? Absorption, a turn. It's a main gamma level, and my NQ play is just it's danger. That's a dangerous setup for me. So if it breaks back above 50, this recent high here, I have a shot. And maybe I'll even update my risk a little, take on less risk. I'm trying to be good, quote unquote, a good boy about it. I am only in one contract. So like, it's not like I'm doing something insanely degenerate with this, but it's also not looking exactly how I would like it to. And we are getting close to these targets, and NQ is not doing anything at the moment. I'm holding hope. But this is okay. Maybe a bounce off the 520 recent low. We have the 1 minute 50 EMA. We have a recent low, but also people might be targeting 500. I don't know. My gut is telling me to hold on to this because SPX is still climbing. I'm seeing a grind. So like my gut is saying, hang on, there's still buying aggression. I'm still seeing the S&P 500 grind up. We're just not quite seeing it being reflected in the NASDAQ at this moment. In fact, NASDAQ's taking a little bit of a hit. Okay, my real goal is just to update my risk to an acceptable level where if I take that hit, maybe it's not ideal, but whatever, live to fight another day. They are just waiting for USO to see if it's going to convince or just pull back. You're speaking in too large of a general sense. Like, it's not like everyone trading the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ is watching USO right now. You have no idea what they're watching. And to try to apply the movement in oil to the next, whatever, 1, 5, 10, 30 minutes in NASDAQ, that's just like an erroneous connection. Uh-oh, we took out 88. Okay, I need to be better about this because if it gets rejected, I could be fucked. Do I just free trade? Do I just go to this low? We popped out of the Keltner, so maybe I need to give it a bit more room. Free trade, yes, no. It took out this high. What is this high? This high is 61, which is kind of where I wanted to go break even to begin with. So maybe I stick with that core plan. Okay, lowered my risk to 5. So some of these would be slightly underwater. Some of these would be slightly green. So we updated the risk a little bit. Hopefully it's not a wick low. Come on, just give me a follow through. 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 Follow through. Follow through. Follow through. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. We're getting to the situation that I'm worried about. Is if it is rejected here on SPX, I think I have to go. I'm trying to give it like a minute. I'm trying to let it see what it wants to do because I know it's a little early to react. But my concern is it just gets rejected right at this level, and then I'm fucked. I think I have to go free trade. Because if it's rejected, like this could easily flush to 500, and then I'm out 44 points. Well, here, 44, 68. Honestly, maybe just front run it and call it a day. I took all risk off the table. So we're going to end green. But I'm giving it a shot. But what I explained happening that I wouldn't like is if this goes without the NASDAQ. Yeah, is it going to tag me right here? We'll see. It's a free trade. If it wants to give me a little bit of a pop, a 13-point pop, or whatever that is, a 23-point pop, lock in $400, I'm going to take it. But I have to be more cognizant of the potential risk. Giving it a shot. It's a free play. I'll lock it in. Like I said, I want this to be my last play of the day.
Order filled.
Bada bing, bada boom. Locked in $1,000. Day one of all the MFF accounts. Locked in anywhere from 629 to 780. That's it. I'm canceling all my orders. For some reason, something weird is happening with those orders. I can't cancel them, but all good. That's it, dude. That's it. It's 11. I got a little lucky with that. I feel like I had a really good read. It could easily get rejected here. Look at gigantic positive gamma node. I just don't think it's worthwhile for me to take any risk past that. The NASDAQ was slightly weak. So on a relative basis, I gave it a pullback opportunity, quickly got my risk to nothing. It went a bit in my favor. And this thing could keep going. Honestly, if it does, like, I mean, for all I know, we ripped through this negative gamma and we could be talking like literally 750 today, which means I left a lot on the table. But remember, you just don't know. There is a scenario, there is a universe, a multi-dimensional universe, folks, in which this rips to 750. And everyone's going to be like, yo, Matt, you were long at 544. That must suck that you missed out on 200 plus points. And you are right. That is possible. But you know what's also equally and probably more possible is the fact that we get rejected at this 99% positive gamma node. Don't get up to 7.7. People take their profits, and all of a sudden you see a plummet in delta, and my fill at 544 is not that protected because it's roughly here. I'm not even protected by the swing low. Like at minimum, I'm losing 21 points. Like I'm looking at these recent lows. It'd be a completely different game if I got in at 20 or 500 flat and my stop was in the money and I give it a shot to run. But my fill for this setup, it just wasn't quality enough to take that risk. And does it look like it's going? Yeah, I got out at 65, so there's another 10 points in there. Intraday high, yeah, I did it. But if you train your mind that like, oh, like it would have worked if I just gave it more room, even if that works 9 out of 10 times, here's where it's going to fall apart. You train yourself to be like, no. Even when things are looking bad, it finally breaks my way. There's going to be a time. There's going to be some variance. There's going to be a bad beat where no, like literally you had to protect it because it legit was going to turn. And for all those times you made money, let's call it the first 9, it's that 10th time that it was legit turning and you just give everything back anyway. So like, yeah, I understand. Do I wish I was in this? Yeah, of course I wish I got another 20 points. That's another $400. That's nice. But the way you can't look at like, oh man, like if I played it perfectly, that's how much money I could have made. You have to look at it in the situation of like, no, there's a real shot here. Because not only are we at positive gamma, there's still a downside gap fill. We still don't know what's going really on with Trump and Bessent and Iran. And are they going to agree? Are they going to disagree? There's just too many unknowns where, okay, I took a shot. I went to a key level, locked in the money, and you got to move on with your life. You cannot hyper fixate on, oh, but here's how much money I would have made if I played it perfectly. Folks, no one's going to play it perfectly. If you're holding your standard to like, I got to play it perfectly, you're going to be upset, and you're going to be upset quite a bit. You have to play it to the best of your ability with all the information you have at that time. The information I had at that time was it went decently against me. I don't have the best protection level. I know there's a positive gamma node on the S&P 500. I know there's a downside gap fill on the S&P 500. And I know at some random point today or tomorrow, we're probably going to be getting an update on Iran. Maybe that goes in my favor. Maybe it all works out and it rips and I could have made more money. But also, I care more about just not blowing out and slowly grinding my account higher than like getting that one magical play that works. So I just want to like explain that to you that like if it goes up, yes, there's the human DJ gambler part of me that I'm going to look at and be like, oh, dude, I could have made another 100 points. Yes, it sucks, but you have to do everything in your power to kind of logic your way out of that emotional response. Because remember, the market is an emotionless beast. It's an emotionless organism, and it is only run by pure stats and risk-reward setups and continual execution of that. Your prayers aren't going to get you anywhere in the market. So I guess I am somewhat speaking to you, but also somewhat reminding myself of it's okay. You made money. If there was more money to be made, as long as you stuck to your system, as long as you respected your risk, that's all you could possibly do. That's the name of the game. And other than that, are you going to play it like perfectly? No, that's just not how it's going to be. So just want to remind you guys of that. But overall, a pretty good day. Actually, did I upgrade the Tradeify accounts? Let me see if I could do it before I let you guys go. Yeah, activate funded, blue pill. Cool. Activate funded, blue pill. All right, so let's upgrade these 5. We passed those earlier. It just took a second for the system to process it. So shout out to Tradeify. So we have those 5. We'll trade on them tomorrow. I'm going to try to be a good boy and not trade on them today. So we just upgraded the 5 Tradeify. Like I said, they are the partner of today's show. 40% off. Use that code Goonie. A better deal if you buy the groupings of 5. You can get in on the 50K accounts for sub 100, which right now is kind of like industry leading. So I just wanted to call that out. Tradeify, just use that code Goonie. And like I said, the groupings of 5 are an optimal deal. For me, the trading day is over. We ran to my final target. I made money on options, locked in my runners, made money on futures. It's done. So I have found that in some of my craziest run-ups financially, the single pattern that I see in myself is I get in, I make my money, and I shut it down, and I move on with my life. I don't want to overstay my welcome and just sit here and somehow feel like, oh, I got to trade. So I'm effectively going to try to protect myself from myself. So if you made your money, maybe that's something you want to try today as well. Go for a walk, go touch some grass, go to the gym, play with your cat. I don't know, go to the bar, start drinking early, do whatever you want. But shout out to Tradeify. Shout out to you guys. If you want to trade with me, GoonieTrading.com, locking in 15K yesterday on those option plays. So once again, GoonieTrading.com, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Code Goonie on Tradeify. Happy Tuesday. I hope you made a shitload of money on Fat Tuesday. And folks, that's kind of it. We'll be posting content later on today. I highly implore you to turn on your notifications. And then we'll be streaming once again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., bright and early. Oh, wait, holy shit. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Hands up, hands down. SpaceX earnings call stream tonight. Do you want to do it? Yes or no? Yes or no? Before I let you go. People are saying peace, but I messed up. Do you want to do a SpaceX earnings call tonight? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Do you want to be there? Do you not want to be there? I see one thumbs up. Thumbs up. Yes. Yes, please. Yes. No. Yes. Rocket. Yes. Okay. If I can get shit sorted out in my life, make sure basically my wife is all good with the kiddo. Put that on your calendar for this evening. So thanks for all the good vibes. I appreciate all the love. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.